What's up, everyone? My name is Alan, founder and consultant of For Now Marketing, and welcome to Braze for Technical Marketers. Today, let's talk about campaign re-eligibility. Let's get started. So, both the campaign re-eligibility and canvas re-eligibility are quite similar, but they do have some subtle differences. So, for today, let's just focus on campaign re-eligibility. Or it could be true that everything that I talk about in this video about campaign re-eligibility could also apply to everything for canvases, except canvases may have just additional nuances. Regardless, campaign re-eligibility can be found under the schedule delivery page. And I believe it's an option regardless of which delivery type you choose. So whether I choose any one of the three, you see that option in the bottom of allow users to become re-eligible to receive campaign and manage the number of messages your user will receive. So when you click on that checkbox, you are given some options. First, a number field, which I believe has a maximum or doesn't have a maximum. So you can set how many days should we allow them to become re-eligible to receive this campaign. And you can also choose the unit of measurement. So you have minutes, days, weeks, and months. And then one thing to note is that a lot of times there are use cases where we want them to be able to receive this email um, instantly, as many times as they trigger it. So, for example, something like an order confirmation transactional email, we should make them be able to be re-eligible to receive this email over and over, back to back. And in that case, whether you choose 0 days, 0 minutes, they're all the same. The absence of the time unit is going to be the same for all of it. So we usually do 0 days, but 0 minutes works exactly the same. And the Braze docs cover this as well. So let's hop over to the Braze documentation and just read through some of the important notes made under the campaign page in particular. Let's actually start at the top because there is an important note. So whenever you schedule a recurring or triggered campaign or canvas, you have the option of allowing users to become re-eligible for it so that users can enter the campaign multiple times based on the trigger. By default, Braze sends a message to a user only once, even if they requalify multiple times, as re-eligibility needs to be turned on separately. So by default, Braze plays it safe and has this feature unchecked unless we go in here and explicitly enable it and then set the re-eligibility window as well. So if we scroll down to campaigns, and it does actually tell us the maximum time for re-eligibility for a campaign is 720 days. So that's pretty much 2 years. So I guess we have the option to make the campaign re-eligible up to a 2-year time frame. I could see a use case for it. It's probably very rare, but that's good to know. And this is actually an important message. So in the case of triggered campaigns with re-eligibility turned on, users who did not actually receive the campaign despite completing the trigger event will automatically qualify for the message the next time they complete the trigger event, even if you did not make users re-eligible. Let's read that one more time. In the case of triggered campaigns with re-eligibility turned on, so in the case of campaigns with re-eligibility turned on, users who did not actually receive the campaign despite completing the trigger event will automatically qualify for the message the next time they complete the trigger event, even if you did not make users re-eligible. So I feel like the sentence is slightly contradicting, and I think the importance of this sentence is for campaigns even if they're not re-eligible. And Braze says this is because re-eligibility is based on message receipt and not campaign entry. So even if a user enters a campaign, there's a chance that the user didn't receive the message, maybe due to an abort statement, maybe email inbox placement issues. There could be multiple reasons why a user enters a campaign but does not receive the message they're supposed to. And Braze is saying that re-eligibility is based on message receipt and not campaign entry. By making users re-eligible for a triggered campaign, you are allowing them to actually receive and not simply trigger the message more than once. So just an important note here. And then additionally, if you're trying to send a message immediately with the re-eligibility of 0 minutes, we will always attempt to schedule it right away, regardless of how a user has received previous versions of the campaign or canvas. So I think that's Braze just reaffirming that they will send it right away, regardless of how or maybe when a user received it. And then lastly, re-eligibility is calculated in seconds, not calendar days. That means a day counts as 24 hours or 86,400 seconds. So if I go in there and I say that a user is eligible to receive this email just once per day. So, and let's say I trigger this action-based email at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That means I am re-eligible to enter and receive this campaign again the next day at 7 p.m. Not the next calendar day at midnight, but exactly 24 hours or exactly 86,400 seconds later. Um, and and another clarification that Braze makes is that February 15th and March 15th, even if we set a re-eligibility window of 30 days, so let's say a user who receives an email on February 15th and they're not re-eligible for 30 days, it is an incorrect assumption that on March 15th they'll be re-eligible because 30 days after February 15th, February being a shorter month, will actually cut into a later date in March, something more like March 17th probably. Although that begs the question now, what happens if I actually set it for 1 month, starting from February 15th? Then does that mean the re-eligibility window ends on March 15th? That I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the documentation will tell us. But also, I don't know if I'll be able to test that without waiting a full month for it. So let's see where this goes. And then a final note about latency. So even if there happens to be a latency for campaign receipt, even though it was set to send at 8 a.m., if a user received it at 8:30, then their re-eligibility daily calculation is kind of pushed back by that latency, so they will not be re-eligible at 8 a.m. So once again, going purely based on message receipt time. And then this is also a very important note when it comes to A/B testing or multivariate testing. So Braze determines variant re-eligibility campaigns triggered using the following rules. So when variant percentages are not changed, each user will always enter the same variant of a campaign triggered in a message or canvas entry every time they are re-eligible. So let's think about the case where we are doing an A/B test. So I'm going to go ahead and create another variant. So there's two variants in this email. Maybe I'm testing a subject line change, and we have control, variant 1 and variant 2. Braze is saying, unless I'm changing the percentages, a user who enters this campaign multiple times because re-eligibility is turned on will enter the same variant or the same distribution every single time. So so you might think that a Braze user might think, oh, let's just have the user enter this campaign at a randomized approach. So maybe sometimes they'll get the control, sometimes they'll get variant 1, sometimes they'll get variant 2. That is not the case. The same user will receive the same variant every single time unless there's been a change in the campaign, like we changed the percentages. Then that kind of switches up the user's placement. So they're kind of reshuffled in the mix. But afterwards, they will actually enter the same variant repeatedly again. Looks like the same case for control groups will remain consistent if the variant percentage is unchanged. And no users who previously received messages will ever enter the control group on a later send. So once again, this is saying as long as the variant percentage is unchanged, control group users stay in the control group and variant group users stay in variant group users. So just explaining different use cases of this rule, which is very important and not always very clear for first-time Braze users. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.